The opening shloka of Ishavasya Upanishad says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkinchat jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjita magrudha kasya svidhanam. You all know that. And if one answer to all the problems in the world can be given by our scriptures, it would be this one shloka. In fact, not even one shloka, just a padam, that is a quarter of this shloka is enough. It says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkinchat jagatyam jagat. Everything that you see, all that is moving, all that is stationary, inert or alive, everything is permeated by that divine Lord, Isha. So what do I do when I know that everything is divinity, animate, inanimate, everything? What do I do? The question is answered. The next part of the shloka which says, Tena tyaktena bunjita. Therefore, consume with sacrifice. Enjoy this world, but with a sense of sacrifice. Take from this world, but with the sense of giving back. Grow in this world, but with a sense of contributing back. Tena tyaktena bunjita. And it says, Mahagrudha kasya svidhanam. Do not take another person's wealth. Literally translated, but what it symbolically means is that do not take anything that does not rightfully belong to you. This is one simple solution to all the problems in the world. Do not take another person's wealth, or do not take anything that does not belong to you. Now, some people may say, but I earned it rightfully. I got educated, I got a job, or I ran a business. I earned this, whatever I have with me. So it rightfully belongs to me. I am not a thief who has stolen it from somebody. I am not somebody who has grabbed it by my might or power or by devious means. I have earned it rightfully, legally, so it belongs to me. But our Upanishad says, no. It does not belong to you if you don't need it. So what belongs to you and what does not belong to you is defined by one simple criteria, which is need, not greed. When you have greed, everything you can own. If you keep working hard and you're intelligent and you have opportunities and ways to grow and earn, you can earn as much as you want. There is no end to greed. But our scriptures say, anything that is beyond your need, even if you have earned it, even if it is in your control, even if it belongs to you as per the legal or whatever the norms, it still truly does not belong to you. It belongs to somebody who needs it more than you. So simple. It doesn't need any explanation, doesn't need any argument, debate, nothing. If you don't need it, you don't need to have it. You can give it to somebody who needs it more. As simple as that. So this idea of Tyaga is so central to Indian culture and spirituality. We are here to give, not to take. We are here to serve, not to rule. This is the idea of our culture. Tena tyaktena bunjita mahagrudha kasya svidhanam. Whatever you do not need, whatever is not required by you, please give it to somebody who needs it more than you. If you do that, all the problems of the world will be solved. It is very, very simple. But to do that, you have to develop a sense of sacrifice. And this sacrifice will come into you only if you think everything is divine, everyone is same. So then you develop this sense of giving back or sacrificing or sharing. Like you will share it with your friend, like you share with your family, somebody whom you love. And you do not think or calculate there because you think they all belong to me. In the same way, if you think everything is permeated by that same divine self and we are all one in that truth, then where is the question of I and them, us versus them? Everything is belonging to everyone. That is the idea of our Upanishad. So when you have blood in your body, which is produced by a mechanism that is not in your control, of course you need to eat your food and your body should be healthy. But this blood itself can be shared with somebody who needs it more than you. That itself is an idea of sacrifice. There are various kinds of dhanam in our scriptures. Annadanam, Vidyadanam, Bhudana, Godana, all kinds of dhanams. But Raktadhanam is also as important as that. Imagine you don't need that blood because your body is capable of generating the same amount of blood in next 3 days or so. You will not faint or you will not fall sick if you are a healthy person in general. But if you give that blood, somebody who has run out of blood, somebody who is going through some accident or trauma or an emergency or an operation, that person can be saved with just your blood. See how wonderful, if you want to give, there are 100 ways you can give. If you do not want to give, you will not find even one reason why you should give. But somebody who wants to give, he will give in whatever way. I know of a lady in Malaysia. They call her Auntie Doshi. She must be around 90 plus something now. And in the beginning, she was inspired by this message of love and love all serve all. But she was not very well to do at that point of time, whenever that was 70 years ago. But she thought, what can I do for the society? And she started donating blood. And I do not know how many times she has donated blood. She never kept count of it. But all through her life, she said, that is one thing God has given me. I am a homemaker. I cannot earn money. We do not have enough wealth to give away. But what I can still do is that blood that God has given me, let me give it back to the society. And till I do not know, till recent times, she has been donating blood. That was her way of giving back to the society. Tena tyaktena bunjita mahagudakasya siddharam. That is also, that blood which you do not need, if it can be of use to somebody, then it does not belong to you. So you give away, and body generates it back, and you get a new healthy blood cells, which is very good. You have to put your body to work to generate new blood cells, which is also a good thing. So this is the way our culture has always talked about Tyaga or Dana as a very, very important principle for survival of human societies. There is an episode in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, quite an interesting one. It seems the demons, the gods and the humans approached the creator, Prajapati, Brahma. And they asked, give us an instruction, whatever you think we should be doing. And it seems the Brahma Prajapati only said da, 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 3 times. And everyone, according to their capacities, understood whatever that da meant. And the first ones, the demons, they understood da means daya. Because demons by nature are very cruel. They don't mind harming and hurting anybody for their selfish sake. So that da was interpreted by the demons as daya. We must show compassion to everyone and not be cruel. The devatas, the gods and demigods, they understood da as dama. Dama means self-restraint or control, self-control, because they have many powers at their disposal. And they may misuse it in a fit of anger or in a moment of temptation. And therefore they have to practice self-restraint. So Dama was the interpretation of Da for them. And for humans, very interesting. Da was Dana. Because humans by nature are very greedy. Nothing is sufficient for them. If they have this, they want that also. If they have that, they want another. There is no end to human greed. So Prajapati knew, and he instructed them, Dana is your way. You must do charity. Because you are greedy by nature, the only way to control your greed is to do charity. So these were 3 simple principles for the demons, for the gods, and for the humans. But actually there are no separate demons, gods, and humans. They all exist within us. When our mind is very pure and sattvic, we are gods. When our mind is very tamasic and lethargic, we are demons. When our mind is very rajasic and passionate, we are humans. So Rajas, Tamas and Sattva, all these 3 qualities are represented by these 3 categories of beings. So whenever we feel whenever we have power at our disposal, like we are in a position and we are in a certain position of authority, where we can dictate terms, we can do things, at that point of time we must be careful with our power. We must use it very, very judicially, like it was told to the gods who have a lot of powers. When we are in a bad state of mind, when we are feeling aggressive, when we are having cruelty in us, we are violent, at that point of time we must remember that the demon in us has got triggered off, and the instruction from the Creator is practice compassion. And when there is greed in us, typical human greed, we want more and more and more and we are not satisfied. We keep accumulating beyond our need. We must remember the instruction of Brahma Prajapati, which is to practice charity. If we do this at all these different phases of our life or points of time, everything will be going on smooth. Otherwise, you tell me, in a world that has crossed $100 trillion in its GDP, we have 700 million people going hungry to sleep every day. And after COVID, things have got even worse. Schools have not opened, or children have not come back to the schools. Healthcare system is broke. You have people filing for bankruptcy because of their healthcare expenses around the world. You have so many children who are orphaned and who have nowhere to go. And there are people who go to sleep hungry every day. So also crime has increased. So also, you know, antisocial activities have increased because those who have not, they naturally have no option but to grab it from those who have. So human survival on one side is an issue. On the other side, there is so much human greed. This kind of a paradoxical world is what we are living in at this point in time. And the only solution to this problem is you follow the scriptural injunctions. You follow the advice of Brahma Prajapati. You follow that one little phrase from Ishavasya Upanishad, and everything will be taken care of. This is what I teach our students, our staff, our followers and devotees. Practice this idea of Tyaga. Practice this idea of Dana. That will make you a better human being. And when you have more powers, practice Dhamma, restraint. Use it correctly. And when you are violent and cruel, practice compassion, Daya. Then all the problems can be solved. In this world, as Mahatma Gandhi said, there is enough for everyone's need, but not enough for even one man's greed. And we know that Alexander the Great came all the way from Greece. He wanted to conquer the whole world, be the supreme king of the entire world. He killed so many on his way. You can imagine how many towns he destroyed, how many children he orphaned, how many women he widowed, what kind of damage and violence he practiced. And when he came finally to India, only India could teach him a lesson. Imagine he crossed so many countries, so many cultures, but nobody could teach him a lesson. Only in India, it seems, as he came, he was exhausted by the time he came to the river Sindhu. And he was passing by a forest, and it seemed there was a naked, half-naked saint, a sannyasi, who was sleeping under a tree, all happy unto himself. This Alexander, who had not slept in days and nights, because a little sound, a little noise, and he would get scared that some enemy has penetrated the camp and he's going to kill him. So that fear would never let him sleep. And then he saw this man sleeping so peacefully, and he was jealous. Imagine somebody who almost owned the whole world was jealous of one naked fakir in India. And he sent a soldier out to ask that man to come here. I want to know how is he able to sleep so well. And the man said, I'm not coming. And the soldier said, he is the Alexander the Great. You know what? He's conquered the whole world. He said, so what? I'm not coming. He said, he will behead you if you do not come. So fear. He said, I'm not coming. Good riddance. If he beheads me, this body is gone. I'm free. I'm not coming. Then Alexander the Great had no choice but to get off his horse and walk up to this man and say, what gives you this ability to sleep so well, so peaceful? You have nothing. You have no roof on your head, no bed below. Just in the open, you're lying and sleeping so peacefully. I haven't slept like this for days. And that is when this man teaches that how little a human needs to be happy. And this is our culture, where we are not greedy. We are happy with what we have. We are happy with our lot. We are contented. And contentment is the greatest wealth one can have. This poor man or this poor sannyasi teaches that body is not the ultimate truth, it's the soul. And the soul does not need all these things to be happy. It can be happy by itself. Its nature is Satchidananda. These are the lessons which Alexander the Great learns and goes back. And it seems when he was dying, because I don't think he even reached Greece back. On the way he died because of his exhaustion. And that point of time he told his people, when I die, please put my both hands out of the coffin so that the whole world can see that I am going empty-handed. I am not carrying 1 inch of the land that I have conquered by shedding so much of blood in the name of being a victor. That is the truth of life, which was taught by this sannyasi. When Adi Shankaracharya went to this poor lady as a bhikshu, as a vatu, like our Veda Pathshala vatus were begging for annam when their Upanayanam was done. So they beg and eat. Students are supposed to beg and eat. Brahmacharis are supposed to beg and eat. And society is supposed to provide for brahmacharis' welfare. Similarly, society is also to provide for vanaprasthis and sannyasis' welfare. It means only grihasthas have the job to earn and donate. Brahmacharis have to learn. Vanaprasthis have to serve. Sannyasis have to withdraw and be renunciate. So they have nothing. The three ashramas, which is sannyasi, vanaprastha and brahmacharya, are not allowed to light fire, or not needed to light fire to cook food. Only grihasthas are allowed to light fire. That's why Agnihotra, so many rituals are there for grihasthas. So anyways, these are brahmacharis, they entered the brahmacharya ashram and they were begging for annam. So like that, someday Shankaracharya in Kaladi went around begging for food. And he came across a rich man's house who was very, very rich, but he was giving away things, with great pomp and show, with great pride. All other brahmacharis thought this is the easier way out. Our quota of charity or donation will be done if we go to that rich man's house. And they made a beeline to that house. Shankaracharya did not go. He felt that this man has so much of arrogance and pride. He thinks he is giving away his wealth, whereas everything belongs to the divine. How can he think like this? I will not accept it. So he went to another hut of a poor lady. And what did he do? He asked Bhiksham Dehi. And then this old lady comes out. She has nothing to give. She is so poor. She has no lands. She has no farms. She has no income. And what she does, she searches in a small pot or a basket which was hung from the roof like in the old times to look for something that she could give to this young Shankaracharya. And all she finds is one dry amla. And with that amla, with tears in her eyes, that a brahmachari has come, what a fortune for me to donate something for a Gurukulam. They used to think it is a great honor to do that. And nobody would come to her hut because she was so poor. For the first time, she had the honor of doing something for a student, for a brahmachari, and all she has is a dry amla. And with tears in her eyes, she gives this dry amla to Shankaracharya, and his heart melts with the sacrifice of this lady. His heart did not melt when he saw that rich man giving away, kgs of rice. But his heart melted when he saw that this old lady had only one amla which was dry, and she handed it over to Shankaracharya. And he cries, Shankaracharya shed tears of gratitude and compassion. In that compassion, he sings Kanakadara Stotram. And from there, it seems, from nowhere from the sky, golden amlas start falling. There's a rain of golden amlas, and that lady becomes super rich. Thanks to Shankaracharya's compassion, but thanks to the sacrifice of that lady. Unless you have made sacrifice, no grace will fall on you. If you make sacrifices, then God will do something, but not otherwise. Anyway, so Kanakadara Sotram was composed in that moment of compassion of Adi Shankara, who felt for this lady who was so kind-hearted that whatever she had, the last possession, a dry amla, she was willing to part with for the sake of supporting a great concept of education, which was the rule. Grihasthas were supposed to support these kind of gurukulams. This is what happens even today. So many people support the educational institutions, so also healthcare, nutrition and things like that. And today I was with Annapurna people and they were telling that in Telangana, the entire state will be served ragi java, which is a ragi malt drink in the morning. All school-going children, 25 lakhs of them, across 28,000 schools will be served our ragi java. All that has been packed and prepared in our Sai Shore factory and being transported to Telangana, and all school staff are being trained how to prepare and how to serve the children. It's also fortified. It's not just plain ragi and jaggery. Ragi is fortified with several kinds of minerals and vitamins which are necessary for a child's growth, what we call as micronutrients. So this is the effort to provide for every student who is studying in some school wherever. May not be our school, but how does it matter? He's a student, he or she is a student that deserve the morning nutrition. So that's going to be one of our biggest projects in terms of one single state, almost 25 lakh children. It is a part of the PM Poshan Abhiyan, the partly funded by the PM Poshan, and the rest 50-50 partnership between Annapurna and PM Poshan. So this is how we are doing that. And I hope many more states will take cue from this and come up with collaborative service opportunities and service to the children especially, who are most vulnerable. Their food, their healthcare, their education, their safety, their rights, their opportunities have to be provided by the entire society. The only way is if you use your daya, dhamma and dana properly. Have compassion for the vulnerable people, the needy. Have restraint, policymakers, politicians, rulers and people who can move things. They should use right mechanisms to provide for the vulnerable sections. And of course, as human beings who have more than what they require, they should find ways to donate. This is the way of societies can become better. And this is what we are inculcating in our children. Blood donation is one thing. Today we also had the artificial limb camp by the Rotary Club. Again a partnership, again a collaboration. with Mahavir Jain, the institution that is doing this for a long, long time. Imagine the person who came limping goes back, even though it's an artificial limb, at least it helps the person to be self-sufficient, independent. Even if he has to go to washroom, somebody need not carry him or her. It is so much of humiliation and such a damage to one's self-respect. A limb can provide the mechanism for the person to walk up to washroom. If those who have, they may never understand the importance of these things. When you don't have, only you know how important it is to be able to even go till the washroom without anybody's help and maintain your dignity, which itself is a crisis for these people. So anything that you do for the good of society, it goes a long way in improving the society and making it better. Our institution should lead the world in terms of giving back selflessly. And our people should not hold any selfish thoughts. Fearlessness should be there. Selflessness should be there. Fear comes only when we are not having enough faith. When we have faith that God will look after us if we help others, there is no need to fear. And when we are fearless, we can be selfless because we have no fear of tomorrow. We are always sure that if today has been taken care of, tomorrow will also be looked after by God. Where is the question of hiding things and like thieves and living a life of a thief? Not required. So this is the message of our Upanishads. This is the message of our scriptures. And this message is being manifested every day in our institutions, in every corner. And I'm very glad that this is happening. And I really want to see a world where there is truly nobody who is sick. Even if they are sick, they have access to health care. Nobody is hungry. Even if they are hungry, they have access to food. There is nobody who is uneducated, and even if they are uneducated, there is access to education. Nobody is forsaken, and even if there are others to embrace them and protect them. Such a world is what we are trying hard to create. And the more of us work towards this one cause, the faster it can happen. We need more and more people like this. So be a fearless, be selfless, and be a bit shameless when it comes to doing good to others. Don't worry who thinks what of you. As long as you are convinced that doing good is your way and you are completely convinced about it, just go ahead and do good. Don't feel shy or don't feel diffident what others think. That's not required. So this is how we should do, and all our children should practice this. Then you can give the blood, and that at least that way also hospital can serve so many poor patients, and we don't have to buy blood from anywhere, because he gave you one ability to contribute, and which is your own blood. Please do so and make sure that our blood bank never runs out of blood. We always have enough and more, not only for the patients who come here, but even to give up to the other hospitals in and around. So that is something that we can always do. And there is a period within which you can donate. And once you donate blood, you have to wait for a certain period for the blood to form and your body to recover. Then you can donate again. And that's how make sure that you find time at least once a year, if not more, to give whatever blood is allowed for according to your age and health to the hospital, so that it can serve more people. And this message is not just for people who are in Muddenahalli, but even those all devotees from around the world. Please go. It doesn't matter you give it to our organization, our blood bank, or any blood bank anywhere. As long as it is helping somebody, please, by all means, go out and do it for the world. This is the minimum dhanam we can do as per our scriptures. And if you have anything more than that, all the better. You can do more work. Vidya dhanam can be done. Annadanam can be done. Any other dhanam, go dhanam, bhu dhanam, any other dhanam also can be done. And that is the scriptural injunction. I hope you will take it very seriously, and each one of you will find ways to do more for the society. And in that, you will find fulfillment, peace, and happiness. With these words of blessings, and appreciating the efforts of the hospital, the Rotary Club, and all the associated partners who have supported these activities, I conclude.